So welcome everybody back to Rate This Clinic. So today we've got another video. It's another story about a hair mill, and this time it's a particularly harrowing one. So we've got Doron here today, who I've seen his thread on the Hair Restoration Network. I'm going to link that down below. And we're going to tell his story about his experience at a hair mill in Turkey in 2018. So Doron, welcome.
Hey, Mustafa, how are you doing?
Good, thank you. Doron, just tell us a little bit about your hair story. So where did you start with your hair, and why did you decide to get a hair transplant the first time?
Well, it's going back when I was 20 years old. I had a girlfriend back then, and we broke up, and it affected me emotionally deeply. And I had hair loss due. I was very about sad and depressed, and it wasn't, a typical hair loss. And I thought I had holes over all my scalp, and I got really panicked. And I went to the dermatologist, and she said to me, "It's not a typical male baldness pattern."
Yeah.
And it will go back in 3-4 months. You need to relax and use minoxidil. So after 3-4 months, my hair got back. And after 6 months, I started to lose hair. But, gradually, it wasn't like a boom, like it happened before.
Yeah.
And since then, I started to have interest in hair transplant procedures.
When you started losing the hair the second time, was it kind of like male pattern hair loss, normal male pattern hair loss?
When I reached my 30 years old, I started to have the Norwood tree pattern.
Yes.
And I did my first procedure when I was 35 years old, and I was still a Norwood tree.
So you were Norwood 3. So tell me about the thought process in finding the clinic for your first procedure. So you were Norwood 3. How did you go about finding that clinic?
When I was 21 years old, I'm from Israel. So I checked, the local doctors, and back then we only had FUT.
Strip.
Strip FUT. And I didn't like the results at all. And then I met a guy that when I was 23 years old, my brother told me about him, that he had a hair transplant. And, because back in the day, at least in Israel, there was a taboo to talk about hair transplant. It wasn't,
Not fashionable.
It was a normal thing. My friends thought that I'm crazy.
Yeah.
And nobody really wanted to hear me talk about this. And he was the only guy that I could talk with him about this. So I poured my heart to him. I told him my story about what happened to me with my ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
And, I had blind faith with him.
Yeah.
And back in 2015, he told me, "Listen, Doron, I'm gonna be representative of hair clinic, and I'm doing a research outside of Israel." And then he said to me, "There is a new technique called FUE," and I said to him, "Well, what is it about?" And he just told me it's better, and without much of an info. And back on 2016, he said, "Listen, I'm going to work with clinics from Turkey."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Turkey? Why?" He said to me, "It's like a paradise of hair transplant." And I was very skeptical, very skeptical. I didn't agree at first.
Yeah.
So, I didn't back then I even didn't know what is Norwood. I had no clue about procedures.
Yeah. So
And
you were just trusting his kind of word, what this guy was telling you.
Yes, because I saw him as my friend, you know, when
Yeah.
this guy knew my friends, one of my ex-girlfriends, and I thought, I can trust him. I mean, I thought he sympathized with me, and
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we have something in common, and so yeah, I put my trust, and then he said to me that I won't have any scars. He didn't. He put advertised that there is no cuts, like it wasn't a surgery, like it was more like a cosmetic treatment.
Cosmetic procedure. So this
Yeah.
this guy, just to summarize, he was working with a specific clinic in Turkey. One clinic.
No, he's and his partner.
Okay.
They work till this day, with, far as I know, with more than one clinic.
Ah, okay. They're like
But
agents. They're agents to bring patients to different clinics in Turkey.
yeah, but back then he didn't say he is an agent. He said he is a official representative
Okay. Okay.
of ArenaMed back then.
He promised you a procedure with no scarring as well.
Yeah, we had a contract that there won't be any scars,
Yeah.
that it 100% safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. No
Yeah.
pain. The classic.
The classic promises of a hair mill.
Yeah, the classic rhyme of Hermes, and he said 100% success, and he
Yeah.
said the whole hair from the donor will grow back, and you
Wow.
know, it was too good to be true, but
Yeah. Yeah.
he knew where to press at my feelings. I really like this, and he know that I had issues with my hair. I had really deep issues, and I did my choice, and I went with him, and it
Mm.
was 2018, and it was a present for my birthday. I
Yeah.
won't forget this birthday. It was on February 2018. By the way, he also promised me that he will escort us for the whole procedure, and then he didn't show up at the airport. So I called him and said, "Where are you?" And he said to me, "Listen, Doron, you know good English, so please pick the guys with you and escort them." And I was,
So you were the
all right,
agent. At the end of it, you were the agent, basically.
without getting paid. So yeah.
So like this guy, you knew him, but in general, hair mills, they make very similar promises to customers who come to them, even they don't know them, but they make very similar promises. You're going to get 100% coverage. You're going to have minimal scarring. We're going to give you maximum grafts. Everything's going to be dense. The operation is going to be perfect. So it's
Yeah,
always the same kind of tactics with these kind of guys.
also he said that the clinic, there's a real MD doctor, that he's a member of the international associations back
Of the
then.
hair transplant doctors, you mean?
Yeah, and the funny thing is that after I was botched,
Yeah.
and I did my research, even on the website of the Hermel, they didn't say he's an MD doctor. He represents himself as a specialist and the owner of the clinic. So even the clinic itself, they didn't promote the owner as a doctor.
Yeah.
So I just put my trust, and I met him on the hotel when we finally got to the hotel.
Yeah.
Um, I was very excited, and when we got to the clinic, it looked modern. It looked okay, visually, because these clinics, they they don't look like it's a flea market clinics. It looks pretty modern. This is
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
the famous hair mills. It looks like a casino, like a five-star hotel.
Yeah.
They tempt you with, we will take you on limousines and
Mm.
five-star hotel and everything. It's
Image is everything. If the image is good, then the people will come, isn't it?
it's like in Pinocchio, the guy that took the whole kids to the theme park. and they all turned into donkeys, with everything. It's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same. It's the same thing. So,
Is this
you
in?
know,
Is this clinic? It was in Istanbul, by the way, right?
yes, yes. I want to say something very important. I don't want to give defamation to Turkey.
Yeah,
I mean, not the whole clinics are hair mills. I mean, there are few good pro level clinics in Turkey, and
definitely. Yeah,
yeah, and I myself, I besides HDC, also coordinate a plastic surgeon in Istanbul, for rhinoplasty, liposuction, and stuff like this. But he is a real MD doctor,
yeah,
and there's no cutbacks.
yeah, yeah.
So it's important that people will understand that I don't want to say, Turkey is a bad place, and it's a beautiful country with great food. You just need to be aware that, especially in hair transplant procedures, most of the clinics, most definitely clinics are hair mills. So, you know,
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'm gonna second that because a lot of people have messaged me thinking that I'm attacking Turkey as a whole. I'm not, for sure. Like you said, there are a few good clinics in Turkey, but at the moment it's a bit of a wild west there. They have so many clinics, they have no regulations, and they're getting away with murder, and in some cases almost literally murder, like we're going to discuss with you. So it's important to just clarify that for everybody. But yeah, we're talking about hair mills here. We're not talking about the professional clinics of Turkey, of which there are a few, and I'm going to cover them in coming episodes as well. But yeah, anyway, so you went to the clinic. Tell us about your procedure.
all right. I went to the clinic. I paid them in cash. Then they started to shave my head. They said they gave me a PRP injection before, which I don't believe it was true, or good quality PRP.
It's for extra money, or is this included in the price?
The representative, the local that took us, he said that they gave me this. I don't know, if it's a fact,
Yeah,
but he said, you're gonna get this, and you're getting this and this. It's like, and by the way, I didn't pay cheap price. I didn't look for a cheap clinic because, most of people that coming to hair mills, they pay around 1,000 euros to
yeah,
205,000, but I paid around 3,500, and it was promoted as a premium clinic, and not,
yes, yes. Cheap hair
so
mill.
yeah, so I didn't know it's a cheap because he did a bigger commission
Yeah,
than the clinic,
bloody hell.
and but
Yeah,
okay, let's focus on what happened to me.
yeah,
So they started to draw my hairline, um, under my natural, and I was very confused because I didn't had any consultation before with the clinic. I just sent to the rep my photos, and he
yeah,
said that the so-called doctor approved me, and I will get 4,500 grafts, maybe 5,000 grafts. So when I arrived, they drew me about 2 centimeters lower than my original hairline, and I was very confused. And he said, "No, no, you will look beautiful." I mean, he said to me, they didn't. He also promised me that there will be a translator that will talk English, that he will have a good English, but the technicians didn't know English almost not at all,
yeah,
So I was there. Then they shaved me, they draw the line, and when they started with the anesthesia, he was with me, the rep. He said he will stay for the anesthesia, and then they start to inject me. I screamed like, like crazy. I mean, I never screamed like that. And
Who was injecting? Was it one of the technicians, you mean?
yeah, and he said to me, it's an MD doctor will do the anesthesia, but it was a technician. Then after that, he changed his version, and also
Yeah.
I said, where is the doctor? And he said to me, ah, no, he's not here today. His brother is here. I said, his brother, but I said, his brother is a doctor. No, he's a partner, but he will be here, and you will get the best technicians. And I was very confused because this is what we didn't agree about. But I was there and I was so confused, and I had my blind faith on him, and
Yeah.
I just, I just, okay, let's go on with it. And when I screamed, I said to him, "What the hell? Why? What they're doing to me?" And Mustafa, I don't afraid of injections. I mean, I have a big tattoo all over my arm. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't afraid of pain and injection. But and then he said to me, Doron, they are now put injections over your spine.
Oof.
And I was, why? Then he told me we are they're doing this because there is some nerve break over there that will go to your scalp. So
Yeah.
they want to start from there, and then they will put the injections over your scalp.
Doron,
And
I've never heard of anybody getting a spine injection during a hair transplant. Have you?
No, it was the first
Oh
time. He
man.
said he said to me it's over the upper section, and I can tell you for sure I didn't feel it was over my scalp. It was, my upper back area, and it was the most painful thing I ever had,
Oh my God.
and after, let's say, around 20 injections, the anesthesia started to kick in. And then they started to do it over my head, which was very painful. And I felt like I had a helmet
Yeah.
over my head. And then after they finished with anesthesia, he said to me, "Okay, I'm leaving now. I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna back at the end of your procedure." And I was like, "All right." And then they did the surgery, and I saw a lot of blood.
Yeah.
And I was really scared. I said, to myself, "What the hell? What, the, what I, why I choose this?" I was very afraid. I didn't felt safe at all.
Was at any point while this was happening, was the doctor didn't come?
I don't know the reason. He just told me he won't be the so-called doctor.
The so-called MD. He
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
there.
The allegedly doctor. He was, so I don't think it's even matter if he was here or there, because he wasn't. He's not a real doctor.
Yeah.
By the way, I sued the representative, the two partners,
Yeah.
and I mailed to ISHRS, and of course I know they will say no, but I wanted this as an evidence. I asked them if ArenaMed, or so-called Mr. Doctor,
Yeah.
was a member at any time, and of course they mailed it back and said no, they never heard about him. So yeah, but I wanted this as evidence, So what happened? It was very agonized, and they did the punch. After they did the punch, we had a break, and then they started to do the incisions and implanting.
Yeah.
And when they did the implanting, I started to feel sick, and I told them I feel real bad. I need to go to the toilet. And then you know what they did? They watched a soccer game. They left, and they told me to shut up.
As in literally shut up, or they just told you like, how did they say it to you? What do you mean?
They did with their finger like with the finger they did this kind of sign that I shut up, and they told me in English shut up because this is the only it's
That's the
like
only words they know.
they said pain, and I
Yeah,
said yes. I said yes, pain, pain, pain. I said need toilet. You know, I talked English like a
like a
moron. You
baby.
know, like them. So I
Yeah,
said
yeah,
pain, pain, great pain. Need toilet, need toilet. You know, and they said shut up, finish soon. Shut up.
wow,
Uh,
wow, wow, wow.
and you're helpless. You know, you're confused.
Of course,
You're helpless.
yeah, you're at their mercy at that point.
Yeah, you are their mercy, and they're at the same time watching a soccer game and laughing,
Wow.
and
How many people
so
were there in the room?
they changed the team all the time. There was the punch team, the anesthesia team, the
Yeah,
incisions team. You know, it was a pretty much a big team, and when they finished, the rep came back. And he said to me, "All right, Doron, they finished. Now get up."
yeah,
So I said to him, "I can't get up. I feel Najwa. I can't."
yeah,
So they tried to, to pull me up, and then when they started, I threw up over them.
yeah,
I just, I disgorged all over the place, and then I fainted, and I woke up on a wheelchair, and I started to throw up again, and I had shivers all over my body and cramps. He didn't know what to do with me, and I heard. Then they brought their translator, and
yeah,
the translator said, "Yes, this is very unusual. I don't understand." And then they asked me what I want to do, and I barely could speak. And I said to him, "Call an ambulance." And then they called the ambulance,
yeah,
and then they came for my rescue. The ambulance. They really did a good job. The ambulance. They gave me water and
yeah,
injection, and they infused me with water. And they said to me, "Listen, you need to breathe deeply because your life in danger." And they told me that I can die now, but they did some massage to me, to that will be relaxed.
yeah,
And they told me, "You need to survive this. Please think positive. Think positive." They're, they're really really okay, and the English was good.
yeah,
And then they asked me, "What do you want to do? You want us to pick you to the hospital, or you want to do your recovery in the hotel?"
yeah,
So I told them I want to go to the hotel, and they picked me, on the wheelchair, to the ambulance, and then it was, I think it was six guys that picked me up to the hotel, and he was also the rep there, and he saw me, throw up and have diarrhea, and I threw up and had diarrhea for 12 hours. The surgery was around 10 hours,
yeah,
and I got to the hotel at around I think 8 or 10 a.m., and till 6 a.m. on the morning I couldn't sleep. I couldn't even put my hair at my head
yeah.
because I felt like I don't know. I have some helmet. I cannot put even when I put towels, and I just can't lay my head. And I sat on the chair, and the rep was with me, and I cried. I cried to him. What the fuck I did to me? Sorry for my F word.
Yeah, yeah, don't don't worry, it's fine.
So I cried, and I told him why you brought me here, and he told me think positive, everything will be fine.
Yeah,
And he went to sleep in the same room with me,
yeah,
and I told him I can't sleep. I sat on a chair. I just cried. I looked at the view, and I threw up and had diarrhea till around 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And that's it. And the guys that he escorted me and two more guys. The guys that were in the same flight with me.
Yeah.
And by the way, day before he had another group. So they my witnesses. They saw what happened to me
Yeah.
over there. And that's it. And then I recovered in the hotel.
Yeah.
I could barely eat something. And then we came after I recovered. I came back to the clinic, and then they checked. And day after I
Yeah.
saw the so-called doctor, and I approached him. I said, "Hey, listen, I'm the guy that had ambulance," and he just looked at me, and I said, "Why he's not talking to me?" Then they told me he doesn't speak in English. So I said, "Wait, he's a doctor and he doesn't speak English?" I mean,
Did he know you? Did he know what
no,
your case was?
I don't think he just, he just have some smirk, some smile with,
Yeah.
smirk
Yeah.
on his
Yeah.
face, and he was, he didn't even say hello to me, and he just, and then I saw his brother
Yeah.
again, and I told him, "Hi, I'm the guy," and he was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I remember." They didn't care, as far as I concerned. So,
Damn.
and then we came back to Israel, and I was really, really happy. And my mom picked me up from the airport,
Yeah.
and she was she looked at me and she was like, "What the hell they done to you?" I mean, she said, I hope you know what you did, and then I recovered over my home. I was very weak,
Yeah.
and I was another week at my home. I couldn't go back to work. I mean, I was very weak, and I still was under anesthesia, and my head was bloated, and that's the only. This is basically the process. What happened to me in Turkey?
Damn. Okay, Doron, I'm conscious of time because I know it's quite late where you are as well. But I want to move forward to the growth phase. So obviously we know it takes around 3 months for the hair to shed and to start growing back. So tell us what kind of results you started to see at 3 months and then 6 months and then on from there.
Well, after around 3 months, three and a bit, I saw, you know, I saw that some of my natural hair didn't grow back, and my depletion looked pretty bad,
In the
and I
donor
had
area.
come again.
In the donor area, you're saying, yeah, the
Yeah, over the
depletion.
donor area, and I saw a few new hairs, baby hairs, and after 6 months,
Yeah,
let's say the final result, it was like maybe 10% growth, but my natural hair,
yeah,
if you can see, I was node free, and I think I sent you the incisions job I had in Turkey,
yeah.
and they did incisions over places that I also had hair, and they turned me to something like Norwood 5.
So
Uh,
did that hair come back, the native hair, or was it gone after that? It didn't come back, it wasn't temporary shock loss.
yeah, it was most of it gone. Yeah, and I looked like a freak, and
Damn.
uh, and, and then the rep, he told me, yeah, you're just a late bloomer. It will grow up. Sometimes it takes 2 years, and
Yeah,
your donor after 1 year, he started to bullshit me,
yeah,
and and I talk with him every month, and then after I think around 8 months, I started to complain to him. I sent him photos on the WhatsApp,
yeah,
and he said the same mumbo jumbo to me, and and then after almost a year, I come to conclusion that I fucked up, and
So it was the same. It was still very low percentage of growth. Native hair still gone. After 1 year, that was the case, yeah?
yeah, and then I started a few months before it was a 1 year result. I started to do a new research, and I also did a research about him, and then
About the rep.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I found he got sued many times
Oh, no.
because he got sued for damaging scalps. And then I did a research, and I found on YouTube and some forums that people complained about him.
Yeah.
And
So he
and
was known on the internet in hair transplant communities.
yeah, in Israeli hand transplant communities.
Yeah.
And I did a research about how a professional procedure should be.
Yes,
And
yes.
and then I after 1 year, I got my conclusion that I want to go to HDC.
Right. Let me just ask you a question there. So, what was different about your approach when you're looking for the second one compared to the first one?
I said this time nobody's gonna fuck me, and I need to do.
Yeah.
I will get as much information as I can get.
Yes.
So I will get the best treatment, the best repair treatment there is, and I don't care how much it will cost.
Yep.
Because I can't live like this. I don't care how much it will cost.
Yeah.
So I did a deep research, and I found out that two guys 1 year before me, they had procedures with the same rep,
Yeah.
and they got botched also, and they did a repair procedure by Dr. Morris at HDC.
Dr. Marison HDC. That's the clinic that you eventually went to.
Yeah, in Cyprus, Nicosia on the Greek side. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And what when you say repair? So what kind of repair did he do for those guys? He fixed the. Is it the donor area or the recipient? How did he repair them?
I tell you what, he more or less did the repair. We all had the almost same kind of repair. I mean, what he's doing to the donor, he didn't transplant hair to the donor,
Yeah.
but he said to me and to them that when he will do the punch job, he will do some, let's say, some fade out
Yeah. Yeah. He
effect.
basically he's gonna blend it all so there's not one area that's stronger than another in the donor.
Yeah, so the scars will look less
Yeah.
visible. I tell you what happened. I met one of the local reps of HDC.
Yeah.
He had in Israel two FUTs and had repairs, great, amazing repairs by Dr. Mart. And
Okay.
he saw me and he was shocked. He was shocked.
Yeah.
And he said to me, listen, I don't know if HDC can do the repair to you. And then he said to me, listen, in 4 weeks, Dr. Mars will visit Israel, and
Yeah.
I want him to see you. So he scheduled me an appointment with Dr. Maras. So I came again, and I met Dr. Mars. And, I can tell you, when I first saw Dr. Mars, I just knew this guy is serious. This guy, I can feel he is, the real thing.
Yeah.
And he talked to me, and he was really shocked. And then he told me, "Listen, Doron, I'm very sorry. I I don't know if I can repair you. I mean, the damage is too deep. I mean, he said they took 5,000 grafts, and you have many scars, and maybe even he explained to me that even that the survival grafts that I still had after the procedure,
Yeah.
some of them will be the roots are deformed, and they are not they may won't be suitable for a hair transplant. So I said, I don't know what to tell you. And he said, and then I started to cry. I said, I said to him, listen, I don't care. I told him, I will pay you anything you want. I will sign anything. I don't expect you to repair me. I want to pay you to try to repay me.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and and then he looked at me, and he put his hand over my shoulder, said, "Don't worry, Doron. Everything will be fine."
yeah,
He saw that I cannot take no as an answer, and they were really really nice to me because the owner of HDC, Pantelis, he said to me, he said to me, Doron, don't worry, I trust you. You don't need to sign anything. They knew that I understand my situation, and I scheduled the surgery dates, and then I confronted the rep of ArenaMed, and I was so angry. I was so angry, and I recorded him, and I came with my brother, and I said to him, listen, I want to close this between us, in a good gentleman way. Just give me a refund. I won't say anything. It will be between us. I will sign anything you want. Just, we know each other for 14 years. If you really care for me, just give me my refund. I will do my repair over HDC. And
yeah.
by the way, he told me that HDC is bullshit, and we had a fight for almost 2 hours. And he just offered me to do a repair
In the same
of,
clinic, original clinic.
at ArenaMed. And, on the contract, he said it's if there's, he admitted that it was a failure.
Yeah,
And he said the contract said that I should get a free repair, but he said me, no, I will you need to pay, but I will charge you less this time. And I told him, listen, just give me a refund and let's over this. And we had a fight. I went, I was very angry. And then we had many fights, and he and his partner tried to bullet me till this day. But they don't scare me, and I will share my story anywhere. It's my experience. They cannot take it from me.
yeah,
And then I went to Cyprus. It's a very beautiful country, very relaxed, and I felt good from the start. From the driver that took me from the airport. We talked, we laughed,
yeah,
and and then I had the day after my arrival. I had my first day of the procedure at HDC, and it was a corrective experience. I mean, the anesthesia, it didn't felt nothing close to what I had on the over the hair mill in Turkey.
yeah,
And I felt safe the whole time.
yeah.
No issues. Um,
Dr. Maras
Everything.
was involved. He was overseeing everything. He was involved fully in the
Yeah,
operation.
yeah, definitely. He really cared for me. He really, really cared, and he know I was under emotional pressure,
Yeah,
and but when he did the surgery on me, I felt really safe, and all the technicians, they they're like a family for me, till this day. And
yeah,
the whole team, they're just amazing people. I mean, they I mean, it's only one, two patients in a day.
Yeah.
It's, and I saw that they are using microscopes, and then they show me the single grafts, and they were really, really good to me. I mean, and the recovery was good. And I felt, I felt this time it's going to be really good. And the accommodations were great. It's 7 days treatment. I
Yeah.
mean, the arrival day, and then 2 days of the surgery.
Yeah.
On the first day, they did my hairline with the single grafts. The second day, they did the Norwood tree area. And Dr. Morris in Israel, he told me we will need to do two surgeries because you had a mega session in Turkey, and we cannot do a big session. So he said we will do your frontal area and your crown area on the second repair surgery, total 3 surgeries.
Yeah.
So it was really great, and everyone were really good to me, and and after 2 days you have the recovery days, and then they wash you, they clean all your scabs, and you feel relaxed. You have two diners that open 24/7 hours.
Yeah.
You don't need to take cabs, bus, nothing. You just relax in the hotel.
Yeah.
You just need to bring a laptop to watch Netflix, and everything will be fine, really. And I came back. It was on the 4th of June, I think, my first repair of 2019.
Yeah. So it was 1 year later from your first
Yeah,
operation,
one
yeah?
year plus later. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And then I started to see a result after 3 months. And let's say after 5 months, I felt it was a success.
I can see, yeah, the pictures are night and day from the original procedure. Big difference.
Yeah, yeah. After 5 months and 2 weeks, I was really happy.
Yeah.
And then, I did recommendation, and I want to warn people because I see this all the time. People give recommendation to hair mills 1 second, 1 minute after the surgery,
Yep.
and and there's no result. How you can do it? And I don't blame the patients. It's a trick of the clinics and their representative agents. Because those patients, they're under drugs after the surgery,
Yeah.
and I understand they feel they did a long way, and after the surgery, they really want to believe that they will have a great result, and
Absolutely,
then they
yeah.
give. And I always tell them, from a legal point, the only thing you are doing with this recommendation, you give power to the agents and the clinic if you want to be happy after, because now you recommend you give recommendation before you had any result. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
Absolutely, yeah. 100%. And in your repair with HDC, you saw the
Yeah.
difference between a professional and what they're doing in the hair mills in Turkey.
About everything, from the anesthesia to how they do the hairline. And,
Yeah.
Dr. Mars, what he said to me that, as I told you before, they lowered my original hairline. I mean, the hairline you see I am having now, it's not the original hairline.
Yeah.
He said to me, listen, I will do zigzags under the first 1 centimeter they did to you under the hairline.
Yeah.
So I will try to fade away the unnatural effect you had from the previous
So
procedure.
the first one, did they make it very straight? No zigzagging, no natural
No
kind of.
zigzags, no zigzags, no single grafts.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
And you can see in the pictures
Yeah.
that the incisions are all the same. And what people, I see, especially on the Facebook groups,
Yeah.
people put that picture after the surgery and said, "Yeah, look what a terrific job! I have they did a lot of incisions, but you don't know if the grafts survive. You don't know if the angles are correct.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
You don't know if it. I mean, me as a coordinator today, I can see from the start that what they did was wrong. Those clinics, I can see there's no zigzags,
Yeah.
there's no single grafts. The incisions are all the same, which is it's incorrect,
You see,
and
especially in the Turkish hair mills, you see a really like it's like they got a ruler and they put it on the forehead and they drew a straight line across the forehead. There's no variation. The hairline looks too perfect, but it very unnatural.
yeah, and I tell you what, people that they go to those clinics,
Yeah,
they think that a professional procedure it's a procedure with a great density.
yeah,
Now, some of these people, what I like to call, they win the Russian roulette. They
exactly.
pay,
Yes,
they pay cheap,
yeah,
and they are getting good density. So I admit that sometimes they have really great density,
yeah,
but what they don't understand, it's not natural, and it's also the donor is depleted, and what happened as a coordinator, what happens all the time. People tell me, listen, Doron, I want to have a crown procedure over HDC. I went to the first cheap hair mill because I don't care that they did a natural, unnatural hairline to me.
yeah,
But I know for the crown you need a specialist. So this time I want to invest money. So many of those patients, I told them, listen, we can do a crown job to you, but to get a great density for the crown, you need triple grafts as much as you can.
yeah.
But since you don't have many of your triple grafts are wasted over your frontal area and double grafts,
Yeah.
you will need to compromise over the density you will have over the crown.
Of
And
course.
then
Yeah. Go on.
then they are confused, and then you need, I need to tell them, we cannot be responsible if you won't be happy. And,
Yeah.
we are lowering the expectations in those kind of cases.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, when you go and get 5,000 grafts from a hair mill for the first operation, and you don't need 5,000 grafts, they take the best grafts and they waste them in places that they don't need to be put. So when you need them later, you don't have any left. You don't have the good grafts left, the multiples, the triples, etc. So
Yeah.
yeah. So Doran, I think it's a good place to kind of wrap it up here. But so what you showed is that there's hope. Even if you've had a bad result the first time round, there is hope. But ideally, what we want to do with videos like this, and what people like yourself who are working with HDC, we want to show people that you need to get it right the first time, rather than go through all of that pain, spend all of that money, and have to try and repair it the second time round. And it's not always possible to repair it. So what are your final words to people who are looking to do a hair transplant and considering to maybe get a cheap transplant and a holiday in Turkey or anywhere else for that matter?
My first advice to the hope for patients, it's not only, I refer this for any kind of cosmetic surgery, not only for hair transplant.
Yeah.
My first advice, take your time, because it's not a healthy situation. Do a research, even if it will take more than 2 years. There's no rush. When I'm doing consultation with patients, I tell them, there's no rush. You can come back to us anytime. We don't do this kind of, there's now a Corona sale, there's now this kind of package, we just pass and now you will get a good price. We don't want to, to rush anyone. So
Yeah.
don't rush yourself. Don't put pressure on yourself, even if you are before a wedding, or do research. Do any cutbacks for yourself. This is the first prime um, advice. And you know, and I want to tell people, if you got botched or had a bad result, I'm as a coordinator, as a guy who went through hell. I always take these cases, emotionally. I mean, I take it personally for the patient.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so we always sympathize with the patient, and we will always do a realistic expectations uh, with anyone.
Yeah. All right, Doron. Thank you very much. So you have some links online. So where can people find you if they want to discuss a procedure with the clinic or?
Well, I have a Instagram of HDC. It's Doron Hair Advisor HDC. I also have under the same name on Facebook a group, and you can also post my phone number freely. People can contact me freely on WhatsApp, and
Yeah.
always will be willing to help anyone, to assist. Um, that's it basically.
All right. Thank you very much, Doron. And everybody, please like and subscribe if you like what you've just heard. And I will be posting the links of Doron's story as well on the Hair Restoration Network. I'll be posting it below as well. Anyway, thank you, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you, Mustafa. It was my pleasure.
Thank you, Doron.